Sanibonani, Dumelang, Abusheni. Hello. Hola amigos. Welcome all of you wonderful people to my channel called Building Others Up. This is a platform whereby I hope to encourage you so that you can go and encourage others, therefore building a cycle of encouragement, especially in this wicked and cruel world. So today's topic is how to stop being a people pleaser. And I have 6 tips here to help you, awesome people, to become a better version of yourself and to recognize that people pleasing is very detrimental. So, tip number 1, numero uno, is value yourself to not seek approval from others. How you can do this is by recognizing that we're all equal and to stop placing people on a pedestal. It's important to value yourself because when you have a high self-esteem, you recognize that you matter and that you will also put your interests first. A lot of people are people pleasers not because they want to, but because they had a low self-esteem. A lot of people pleasers were people who were trying to please their parents because their parents were very strict and, were very critical. And I believe that it's important that once you recognize that you are probably a people pleaser because of your parents or whoever you are trying to please from a very young age, you can stop that cycle and you can undo those behaviors. Yes, good people, it's possible to undo the behaviors from being a people pleaser. Tip number 2 is set boundaries. Now, this is one of the primary characteristics of people pleasers is that they don't set boundaries. Why? Because they don't know their self-worth. People who set boundaries are people who know their worth. When you don't set boundaries, you're giving people the permission to disrespect you. Let me say it louder for those at the back, for those who still have earwax after I've just helped them with the first tip. When you don't have boundaries, you give people permission to disrespect you. And no one deserves to be disrespected. We all deserve to be respected. So think of setting boundaries as helping you as well. For those of us who are Christians, the Bible even states that it's important to set boundaries. We can go to Proverbs 4 verse 23 where it talks about whatever you do is going to be flowing out of your heart. Proverbs 4 verse 23 says, "Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life." Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. In other words, whatever you do, think about yourself because whatever you do is going to flow out of your heart. So if you're going to do something for the good, it must come out of being genuinely wanting to do that. Yes. Then tip number 3, don't ignore the red flags of someone wanting to take advantage of you. Now, this is very important because a lot of times a people pleaser will recognize when someone wants to take advantage of them. But because, like again, I've said, they don't have a high self-esteem, they will just allow people to take advantage of them. I remember last year I was coming downstairs from where I was staying, and then there was this guy who just told me that he allows people to take advantage of him. And I was really shocked. But I realized that this person now allows this because he actually doesn't have a high self-esteem. And now, good people, at times people take advantage of you and you don't know it until you actually realize that no, they were taking advantage of me only once you've helped them out. And it's important to not ignore the red flags, guys. Like I said, it doesn't matter what a person wants to do. You have to think about your self-esteem as well, because the problem with ignoring red flags is that you want approval. You want to be liked, and the truth is you're not going to be liked by everyone. And who cares if you're not liked by everyone? Because really, guys, life is too short. You need to like yourself more than liking anybody else, because when you like yourself more than anybody else, you're going to put yourself first. And it goes to this thing of people asking you to do something and you're asking, how high? Like, how high? Do you want me to jump over Mount Kilimanjaro? Do you want me to jump over the two oceans, the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans, and even swim in the Indian Oceans? Like, how high do you want me to jump? And no, guys, let us stop doing that. You know, tip number 4. Do you guys need a break to digest everything? No. Okay, let's go. Tip number 4 is get over your fear of rejection by acknowledging that you can't be liked by everyone. Yes, rejection is real, but what's even worse is self-hatred, hey? And for me, what I know is that when I couldn't reject people, it was because I wanted to be liked by everyone. And the horrible thing is that someone will take advantage of me. And what would end up happening is that I don't end up hating the person as much as I end up hating myself. Self hatred is very real. And when you do something against your will, but you're doing it to please a person because you want to be liked by them, you end up hating yourself. And it's unnecessary hate, eh? And what's important is that you need to realize that no is an entire paragraph, it's an entire sentence. However, you say no in your language, whether it's hi, ta, nai, nia, no is an entire sentence, it's an entire start and end of a chapter. If that person wants to abuse you and mistrust you, no will complete that entire chapter. It will end that chapter with that person in your life. It will declare straight away that that person is out of your life. And if that person no longer talks to you, then great. Because, like I said, no was the start and end of that chapter. And clearly, that's the end of that chapter of that person misusing you. Tip number 5. Whenever you feel guilty for saying no, remind yourself that you're putting yourself first. Especially now when you start to realize that people pleasing is horrible for you and you're practicing the art of saying no, you are going to feel guilty, but do remind yourself why you're saying no and continue to say no when you realize that someone wants to use you, because by practicing to say no, it's going to reinforce, if that's the correct English, it's going to reinforce this thing of, okay, I'm trying to create a new habit. This new habit is me saying no. And then once you continue with this habit, you automatically get used to it, but not like overnight, obviously. You'll get used to it sometime later. And it's really important to put yourself first. It doesn't matter. You can be the kindest person. You can be kinder than Mother Teresa and all of the kindest people in the world who even run NGOs. But guys, it's important to put yourself first. A lot of people, want to misuse you and abuse you. And it's like hotels and places of accommodation, guys. When you're visiting a place, a lot of people just enter B&B or hotel or whatever. It was spotless, it was neat, everything was in its place. They leave it in a pigsty. And the same thing applies to our lives, guys. Like, you can't allow people to come into your life, misuse you, abuse you, all of that, and then leave you a wreck, an emotional and mental wreck, guys. No. Let us stand up for ourselves and say no. And then the last tip, number 6 is choose to be respected than liked. Let me say it louder for those who still don't want to take out the earwax from their ears. Choose to be respected than liked. I hope all those who are at the back and who are in the middle somewhere that's closer to the back have heard this. It's important to be respected and to be liked, because when you value yourself, it's going to show. People will see that you value yourself, therefore they will value you. Yes, they might not like you, and who cares if they don't like you? What matters is that they respect you. And then another tip that I can give, so it's tip number 7, is when someone wants to help you. No, actually, when someone wants your help, you don't have to say yes to helping them immediately. Instead, tell them that, okay, you know what? I need a day or two to think about what you want, and then I'll get back to you. And then when you do this, obviously you're going to be buying time to think, okay, what are the pros and cons of helping this person out? Am I gonna end up hating myself when I help them out? Like, what are the A, B, and C's all the way to Z of this, of the situation? And then if a person can't respect you enough to abide by the fact that you want to take a day or two to think about it, then that is that person's problem. Don't feel guilty, move on with life. And then once you get back to that person, then at least you would have thought about it. And then if your answer is no, because you realize that it's not going to be good for you or you're trying to take advantage of you, then you can feel very proud, hey? And if the answer is yes, then it better be for your own good, but and think about yourself. It's not selfish to think about yourself. This world preaches, you know, how you can't be selfish, but in this case, guys, when it comes to people pleasing, be selfish as well, because those people who want to take advantage of you do not give a darn. Like, they don't care like nada about you when they want to take advantage of you. So guys, don't allow people to treat you like how they treat a B&B when they go in for the first time, and when they come out it's a pigsty, and then the B&B owners have to clean and all of that. Like, no guys. So thank you for listening to this video. I hope that it helps you. Share it with someone who is struggling with being a people pleaser. All of this comes in the name of love, because I can relate, because I was a people pleaser for a very long time. And yes, people, it's possible to undo all of this people pleasing behavior. So thank you guys. Do take care, and you'll be hearing from me next time. Bye.
Does God have your attention, or is it something else? Are you leading a purposeful or materialistic life? Is the cycle of life meaningful or empty?